We're going to use a wet on wet effect with our temper cakes for our background. So get your paintbrush really wet, make a little puddle on whatever first color you'd like to choose, and then tap that paintbrush onto your paint and then onto your paper. So choose one color first. We're going to fill the whole paper up. So you can put some water down on your paper and then paint, or you can just put some paint down. I'm going to fill my background using yellow, and then I'm going to choose another warm color of red. So if you are choosing warm colors, you have yellow, red, or orange. Your blue colors are blue, green, or purple. I would stick to just 2 colors for your background. I wouldn't try to make it too busy. Once my background is fully filled in with yellow, I'm going to clean my brush really well, make it nice and wet, tap it onto the puddle on top of my red paint, and just do a really light wet on wet technique. So my paper's already wet in areas, and I'm going to tap some of that red paint into the wet spaces. If you need a little more water, you can get your brush a little more wet and tap it on top of the red. We're just going to do some layers here. You don't need the second color to be super bright. It's just going to provide some texture in the background behind your animal, just to give it some nice visuals, and it's not super flat behind that animal before we add some more background designs. When you get to the point of your background wet on wet painting being done and your animals cut out and glued down, then you're ready to add designs. I chose to add some lettering that was inspired by Dean Russo. I would like, if you're going to do some words or letters, I would like you to look at his lettering. So his lettering's a little silly, a little crazy, but it's still neat enough to read. So it's a little artistic. He's not just writing it normal. He makes his letters look a little wild. So check that out, please. You can zoom in on the examples that I gave you in Seesaw. I'm using my dog's name as the words. You can include your dog's name if you want as well, or you can choose some other words or sayings. I would practice writing these out in your sketchbook first, just so that you don't make a mistake on your good copy. So I'm writing the word oatmeal because that's my dog's name, and then I'm going to grab a thin Sharpie, trace over it, and make it pop. Once you trace your letters with a Sharpie, please grab an eraser and erase those pencil lines before moving on to the next step. Now that I have my animal's name written, I'm going to use my neon oil pastels once again to create some pattern and texture in the background. I don't want to make it so busy that it takes away from my animal, so I've decided that I'm going to do really large designs, so there's not going to be as many in my background as in my dog, but it's still going to create a nice, interesting background for my viewer to see. It's also going to glow really nicely underneath my black light. Once your background designs are complete, you can take a look at your work underneath the black light if you'd like, and then you're going to be ready to take a photograph and upload it to Artsonia.